If you've ever wondered how much power a revolver cartridge can pack before it becomes downright unreasonable, welcome to the right project. Today, we're diving into a lineup of 5 calibers so overbuilt, so unapologetically violent that you almost have to question the sanity of the people who designed them. Sure, your everyday cartridges like the 9mm or even the .45 ACP might get the job done. But the rounds in this review aren't here to just get the job done. They're here to violently erase the job site, and probably the guy standing behind the job. And yet, despite the ridiculousness, people keep buying them. Why? Maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's ego, or maybe it's because deep down, every gun owner wants to feel, just once, what it's like to launch a small meteor out of a steel cylinder. In this Scoper 360 degrees breakdown, I'm going to walk you through all 5 calibers, from the merely overpowered to the absolutely catastrophic. I'll cover what they do well, what they do terribly, how they perform in the real world, what they cost, and whether you should actually shoot them or just admire them from a fearful distance. And trust me, the #1 slot will make you question whether handheld weapons have gone too far. Spoiler, they have. But that never stopped anyone. 357 Magnum. The little legend that thinks it's bigger than it is, the .357 Magnum shows up to the party wearing Dad's leather jacket and a grin. Historically significant, reliable, and shockingly versatile. Objectively, it traces back to the 1930s as the first widely adopted Magnum revolver round. Fires typical bullets in the 110-180 grain range at lively velocities, and delivers a punch that outclasses its 38 special cousins while still allowing you to practice without dislocating a shoulder. Subjectively, it's the most charming, serious cartridge on the list. Enough snap to feel competent, not so much that you need to sell a kidney for rehab. Practicality is high. It's common. Many revolvers are chambered for it, and you can even shoot .38 special out of the same gun for lighter days. If you want numbers to argue about at the range, expect good penetration and quick energy transfer at close to moderate ranges. If you want price, a typical box of factory .357 ammunition runs in the low tens to low dozens of dollars depending on bullet type and count. It's generally the most wallet-friendly Magnum on this list. 44 Magnum. Meet the classic show-off. The .44 Magnum expanded the why not philosophy into a science project. Heavier bullets, larger wound channels, and a reputation earned in movies and hunting trips alike. Objectively, it launched as a step up from the .357 in the mid-20th century and commonly propels 1.80-300 grain projectiles at substantial velocities, producing energy figures that make medium game consider negotiations. My subjective read is that .44 Mag is the sensible spectacle, terrifying when fired wrong, eminently useful when fired right. It's a favorite for hunters who want real stopping power without strapping a cannon to their arm. On practicality, it remains manageable in modern revolver platforms and can be used for defense, hunting, and range therapy for the masochistically curious. Expect to pay more than .357 factory boxes and bulk packs, commonly put .44 at a noticeable premium, but still within reach for most serious shooters. 480 Ruger, the diplomatic heavy hitter. The 480 Ruger was designed to give wilderness defenders effective stopping power without the full facial rearrangement of the largest Magnums. Objectively introduced in the early 2000s to give hunters a balanced option between power and controllability. Typical loadings send 275-410 grain bullets at respectable speeds and produce muzzle energies that comfortably handle elk, moose, and aggressive bears at realistic engagement distances. Subjectively, I find the .480 to be the grown-up Magnum. It doesn't scream for attention. It just quietly does the job when the scenery wants you to regret your life choices. Practically, it's less common than .357 or .44, but still supported with quality factory ammo and appropriate revolvers, making it ideal for someone who wants more than a .44 without signing up for the .500 experience. Price-wise, quality 20-round boxes frequently land in the mid-range for big-bore handgun ammo, often under or around the $50 mark, depending on brand and load. 500 S&W Magnum, the headline grabber, the "Why would anyone?" entry that exists to win arguments you didn't know you were having. Objectively, one of the most powerful production handgun cartridges ever. The .500 S&W can push huge bullets at high velocities and generate muzzle energies in ranges that rival small rifle loads. Manufacturers introduced it in the early 2000s to create a revolver cartridge capable of tackling the largest North American and African game. My subjective verdict: glorious overkill. It's spectacular and terrifying in equal measure. A round best appreciated from behind reinforced glass unless you are a practiced big-bore shooter with a death wish and a spare shoulder. Practicality? Very low for everyday carry or casual defense. The guns are enormous, recoil is punishing, and ammo is expensive and sometimes hard to source. If you want the sticker shock included, expect to pay substantially more per round and per box than the more pedestrian cartridges on this list. Premium hunting loads can be several dollars a round, making practice and range time a budgeting exercise in masochism. 454 Castle. This is where I enjoy pain starts to sound like a plan. The .454 Castle was created to push handgun ballistics toward rifle territory, and it succeeds with aggressive velocities and energy that make lighter magnums look like polite suggestions. Objectively, it can drive heavy for handgun bullets at blistering speeds, producing muzzle energies that exceed most classic magnums. It was designed with big game stopping power and wilderness defense in mind. Subjectively, I call it the cartridge. For those who like their recoil educational, it demands respect, technique, and a revolver built like a small battleship. Practicality is limited to experienced shooters who need extreme performance. Follow-up shots are possible but require commitment, and the recoil and blast will humble the uninitiated. For cost, 454 is a niche round and shows that in the price per box, expect to pay a premium over .357 and often more than common .44 loads, with typical 20-round boxes commonly placing it solidly in the higher but still reasonable bracket for specialty big-bore ammo. If you enjoyed watching us glorify controlled chaos in measured calibers, hit like so the algorithm knows you have questionable taste. If you want more ballistic therapy delivered with sarcasm and data, subscribe to Scoper 360 Degrees and ring the bell. We'll keep feeding your curiosity and your second thoughts. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these rounds would you actually trust to solve a bear problem? And which one would you buy just to feel powerful for 5 minutes? Tell me your worst recoil regret, your favorite range story, or nominate a caliber we should roast next. Drop your answers in the comments. Share the video with the person who thinks bigger is always better. And if you enjoyed the chaos, consider supporting the channel. Links are in the description. Stay safe, aim true, and remember, there's brave, and then there's the guy who bought a .500 S&W for yard defense.